Good morning. Welcome to the Senior Network. I am your host, Dargan Davis. We are very excited about today's program. We are going to give our guests just a few more minutes to be logged in, and then we will get started. So while we wait, we'd love to know where our guests are from. So if you have the chat box there in your corner, you can drop your name and the city that you're from, and we're going to get our program started shortly. All right, I think we are ready to begin. Once again, we're excited to have all of you here for another edition of the Senior Network. I'm very excited to hear about our guest speaker today, Erin Jeffords. We have a few housekeeping notes that we would like to go over before the webinar begins. This webinar is being recorded and it will be available later today to view on seniorresourcesinc.org. And this will also be available on our social media channels after the broadcast. And if you've missed any of our previous webinars, we now have a virtual library on our website. And if you go into the Senior Network at seniorresourcesinc.org, you can see our previous webinars, and those have a lot of great resources for seniors and all individuals. I would like to take a few minutes before we get started just to talk to you a little bit about Senior Resources and the services that we offer. We are a nonprofit organization that coordinates services and resources to Richland County's senior citizens, helping them to live healthy and independent lives. All of our activities, services, and programs that we offer at Senior Resources are geared towards promoting independent living with the goal of helping seniors remain in their homes as long as possible. In Richland County, we are the only provider of Meals on Wheels, and we serve 600 meals daily through this program to our homebound seniors. We also have home care and transportation services. We have our foster grandparent and senior companion programs, and we have a Pet Pals program that serves close to 50 of our senior clients, and we distribute food to their pets, their dogs and cats, once a month. And we have 4 community wellness centers, and this is a chance for our seniors to gather and enjoy fellowship with peers and a hot meal and have a physical fitness activity. And our services touch the lives of 4,000 Midlands residents. The Senior Network is one of our programs offered at Senior Resources, designed to connect seniors to more community resources. We also would like to take this minute to thank Lori Life and Health for partnering with Senior Resources. My co-host Holly Van Horn is not able to be here today, so in her absence, I am going to share the Lori Life and Health Minute. Lori Life and Health is an independent insurance agency located in Columbia, South Carolina, which specializes in Medicare, health, and life insurance. Their mission is to educate clients on all of the options available and to help them make decisions that meets their needs and budget. Lori Life and Health can assist you in person or over the phone, and their service is at no cost. Open enrollment for Medicare is currently open through December 7th, and for health insurance, it is open through January 15th. And if you like more information about Lori Life and Health, please give them a call and they can help you with your Medicare and your health insurance options. Now it is time for our presentation to begin. I would like to introduce you to today's speaker, Erin Jeffords. Erin Jeffords is an occupational therapist based out of Columbia, South Carolina, who specializes in the older adult population. Ms. Jeffords is a graduate of the Medical University of South Carolina with her master's in rehabilitation science and is pursuing her post-professional occupational therapist doctorate through Thomas Jefferson University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She's an adjunct professor of occupational therapy at Lenoir-Rhyne University and the founder of the OT Advocate. Thanks for presenting today, Ms. Jeffords, and I'm now going to turn it over to you.
Hi, Dargan, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, just making sure. Well, thank you for having me. I'm actually here. This is on campus today. I'm at Lenoir-Rhyne University. So for those that are not aware, we actually have a campus here in Columbia, an occupational therapy program, which is a master's program here. So I am in the lab setting today, and I'm excited to be able to talk about fall prevention because it's something I'm very passionate about. And like you mentioned, it's something that I'm continuing to study on this post-professional journey. So I'm excited to get started. Can you hear me, Dargan?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Well, do you just want me to go ahead and get started?
Sure thing. Yes.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and get started.
Okay. So some of the things I like to start by talking about are the statistics on falls. So even though they are alarming, they're very important to know. So falls are here in the Midlands, the #1 cause of accidents, the #1 cause of hospitalizations, and the #1 cause of traumatic brain injury over the age of 65. So those statistics alone are very worrisome. But what I also want to add are falls are not a normal part of the aging process. So if you are having falls in your home, I want to make people aware that it is something that should not be happening. And the reason I really want to talk about fall prevention is there are so many things that we can do individually and supporting our loved ones to prevent falls. So fall prevention is something that we can do to prevent those hospitalizations and injuries and other things that unfortunately happen because of a fall. So one of the things I like to talk about first are the things that we can do that are low cost or no cost. So there's also a misconception that fall prevention has to be a costly endeavor, that people have to spend a lot of money to modify their home, or they have to hire outside consultants to come in or purchase unnecessary equipment. And I want to really stress today the things that you can do that really are no cost or low cost. So a lot of just simple strategies. So the first thing I like to talk about is lighting. So lighting it's as simple as turning on the light. So right now I'm sitting in this lab area and I have all the blinds open. So making sure you're taking advantage of that natural sunlight. Here in Columbia, a lot of the homes don't have a lot of overhead light. A lot of the older adults I work with rely on lamps. So making sure that you're using a light bulb that emits a clear white light that really helps illuminate the space versus a dull light that maybe gives off a glare. So making sure that you're maybe changing out your light bulbs to a light that will emit a brighter light. Also using a lampshade that will also give more light. So if you have darker lampshades, think about switching out your lampshades to a lighter lampshade color. So that's something that you can do. Also using a light when you have to get up to go to the restroom. So I like these little portable tap lights. So these are lights that you could keep bedside or in your bathroom. This is a very inexpensive thing. And then I actually purchased this, Dargan, at the Dollar Tree. This is a little flashlight that you can use, if you need to illuminate the space, possibly in the middle of the night. That is a very high incidence of falls happen at night when people get up in the dark, if they don't have the lighting, or there potentially could be other factors that I'll talk about in a minute, like clutter or something that could potentially cause a fall. So lighting is the first thing that I would encourage people to do. Think about switching out your light bulbs, using some type of light at night, and just really turning on the lights. I like to always use this example is when I go to people's homes, a lot of people do sit in the dark. I am guilty of that. I don't turn on a lot of lights at home. And so just encouraging people to turn on the light is the first thing that I would do. The second thing is footwear, making sure that you wear proper fitting footwear. And I like to say that because a lot of people might have some swelling and what your physician would refer to as edema. And if you notice that, making sure that you're wearing the proper size shoe, making sure that you're wearing a shoe that covers the whole foot and not just a slip-on shoe. The slip-on bedroom slippers are very popular. So I would encourage people to wear a shoe that has very good traction or tread on the bottom and something that is proper. Going to a podiatrist is also recommended as people age, and maybe sometimes getting a consultant getting a referral to an orthopedist if you need a special type of shoe. There are places here in Columbia, like Fleet Feet or Strictly Running, that will do assessments. And this is a very popular shoe, Beyond Clouds. I wear them, but I work with the older adult population. They seem to really like these shoes. So I brought these in today as an example. One thing that I would be wary of, especially this holiday season, are the fuzzy socks. I use this as an example of it's fuzzy sock season, so even though they're comfortable and they're warm, they're going to put you at a risk for falling because there's no traction. There's nothing that's going to help prevent you from falling. So I would, probably not give your loved ones these socks this year. Can you still hear me, Dargan?
Yes, I can hear you, Erin.
Okay, I just want to make sure if I lose you at all.
Yes, you are
okay.
good. You're good.
Okay. So the next thing is, so we talked about lighting, talked about footwear. So again, simple strategies. It's making sure that you have the correct lighting, that you have the correct footwear. The third thing is your environment. So making sure that you have accessibility to get from one place to the other in your home. A lot of that may be doing things like relocating furniture or pulling up the throw rugs. I try not to be the throw rug police. I don't like to go into people's homes and tell them to remove all of their throw rugs. But I do tell people one test that I would do is if you walk on your rug and it does slip or slide, if you trip over the corner of the rug, those would be the rugs that I would prioritize moving. Those would be the rugs that I would take up first. If it's a thicker rug and you think that it would be safer to maybe take down the corners, that is a strategy that you can also, if you want to possibly keep some of your rugs. So I am very realistic. I know that a lot of people, when I make recommendations of taking rugs up, they want to keep some of their rugs because they do have hardwood floors here in the Midlands or tile. And so I like to just, like I said, prioritize taking the ones or removing the ones that are at a risk for potential falls because they don't stay in the correct place. So just thinking about your environment, again, a free strategy of just moving items, relocating items, and asking family members to help you do that or loved ones, and making sure that you reduce clutter. So, maybe a good time to start with the holiday season coming up, when you're getting down those Christmas decorations, maybe a good time to start thinking about some things that you may want to give away or things that just to give you some more space in your home. So the environment. The fourth thing is medication. So a lot of older adults, this is a very commonly used item, which is a medication pill box. This is the biggest step in medication management. And this is something that we do as occupational therapists, is we, as part of our scope of practice, is we cover medication management. This is something that I find a lot of people will say, well, I have a pill box and I'm using that. But the next step would be to monitor symptoms. So making sure that you are aware of any side effects you have, if you're having any lightheadedness or dizziness, if there's anything that you need to make your healthcare professional, your physician, nurse practitioner, your pharmacist aware of. I would just be hyper vigilant of making sure that if you are having any side effects that are new or worrisome, that you're communicating those to your healthcare professionals. And again, making sure that you're taking the medication as directed and using possibly a checklist or a medication log or something that could be very helpful to remind you. I like the Amazon Alexa device, and I've worked with people that have used that in their homes to remind them to take their medication. I use it to remind me to, do simple things, purchase items that I need. And so you can use it to remind you to take medications or even things like to remind you have a doctor's appointment. So that's a smart device that people can use for medication management. The last thing, and one of the biggest things about fall prevention, is adaptive equipment. So one of the very low cost items I like to recommend is this magic tape that can be used in the bottom of a shower. I am not a big, fan of the bath mats in the bathtub. They tend to get slippery. They get kind of a film underneath them. They're very hard to clean. And they actually, in my experience, have caused more falls than prevented falls. I was actually working with someone recently who told me they fell because of the bath mat. This traction or tread I purchased at Lowe's. It comes in a little pack with pre-cut strips. You can also purchase something like this from Amazon. And what you do is you put the tape on the bottom of the shower or bathtub floor and where you would normally stand. So this is an inexpensive, low-cost fall prevention home modification that I recommend. Another would be grab bars. So grab bars in your shower or in your bathroom area beside your toilet. And grab bars can be installed different ways. They can be installed horizontally, vertically, or diagonally, and it really is dependent on the individual. I do like grab bars a lot. I am a fan of the vertical placement of a grab bar because it allows people to grab at different heights depending on if they're sitting or standing. Making sure that when you do install a grab bar, you are using a licensed handyman or contractor or a family member that has experience with doing something like this. And I'm not a fan of the suction grab bars. Those, again, are something that tend to be more of a risk than actually helping. So I wouldn't be encouraging the suction grab bars. I do encourage the placement of a grab bar that actually that's fixated into the wall. Other adaptive equipment that's very low cost and commonly used are things such as a grabber or a reacher. And this can be used to pick items up off of the floor, out of shelves or cabinets. And you can buy these Amazon. I think this one costs about $10. They actually do have them at the dollar store, and those are pretty good. They're longer, and I have recommended those for people as well. A long-handled sponge in the shower, something to reach your feet or your back to avoid having to bend over, because sometimes those movements may trigger lightheadedness or dizziness and can lead to a fall. So those are some very low cost items, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to move around in the lab a little bit so you'll see our lab. I'm going to show you a shower chair. And what we would do is recommend a lot of times is that someone uses a shower chair in their bathtub or shower. This is actually called a tub bench because this is actually a shower chair that is designed for a bathtub or a standard shower chair. I like the shower chairs with the back. So if you are going to purchase a shower chair, I would purchase one with a back versus one just with a seat. And you can see here the placement of this grab bar is the vertical placement. Things like a handheld shower head can also be used. And then you can see in this shower, there's different placements. They have a couple different grab bars as well. So shower chairs are another option. Something else that I recommend is an elevated toilet seat. So you will see over this toilet, there is a bedside commode, or what we would call a 3-in-1 commode, that has been placed over this toilet. So this elevates the height of the toilet. So when people are sitting and standing, they not only have that elevated height, but they have something to hold on to. And then you can see the placement of the grab bars as well. So those are just a few examples of adaptive equipment that I tend to recommend a lot that people may need to prevent falls as they age safely in their home. So I'm going to walk back to my spot now. Dargan, do you have any questions for me so far?
Definitely think that your advice can be beneficial, not just for seniors, but for just adults and young adults as well. I know I'm a big fan of fuzzy socks, and I myself have slipped before. So that was a great tip. And also, I love the grabber that you talked about, because with the holidays coming up, that could be a great gift.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
yes.
Can you hear me, Erin?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So thank you so much for all of your expertise that you shared today. Are you ready for us to open it up to the audience for some questions?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, if you are joining us today and you have a question for Ms. Jeffords, if you would type it in the chat box, we will try to get to as many questions as we can. And so I'm going to go ahead and open that up now.
Yes, and I'm going to be helping read off those questions, Erin.
Okay.
Miss Brenda asked, what kind of shoes do you recommend for a house or an apartment that has carpeting?
So one of the things I would recommend is to make sure if your foot is clearing the space, meaning notice how you are walking. So when you're thinking about, so today when you're up walking around in your apartment, is your gait more of what I would call a shuffling gait, meaning you're not picking up your feet as you are walking, or are you able to walk what we would call in a normal gait pattern, which is more of that heel toe gait pattern? So I would think about that first. And then depending on that, I would make sure that the shoe in carpet would probably be more of a lightweight shoe, because you have to be, sorry, I'm getting distracted by the, more of a lightweight shoe, because it sometimes with the heavier shoes, that can also, if you aren't having that able to clear in that gait pattern, like I was saying, that heel toe, then that might actually make it more difficult to walk. So I hope that answered the question. So I would think about more of a lightweight shoe, but definitely a shoe that supports the whole foot. Like I mentioned earlier, a shoe that is going to support the ankle. And like I mentioned earlier, a shoe that is a proper fitting shoe. And I was just listening. Oh, sorry, this comment, it says, please remind to be careful with. Oh, yes, definitely. So someone made a comment about the fabric softener sheets when they are on the floor. Yes, so when people are doing laundry, being very mindful of those fabric softener sheets that could potentially fall out of the laundry and could cause a fall.
So Erin, I don't mind asking the questions.
Okay.
Just so you don't have to look at the chat.
Sure. Thanks, Beth.
Yeah, Mr. Clarence asked, what do you think about stair assist devices?
It's very dependent on the person. I'm actually working with someone currently. I worked with him yesterday that has a chair lift in his home. I have worked with several people here in the Midlands that have used chairlift devices. So I'm definitely a fan of them, as long as they are properly installed, serviced, and to make sure that the individual, whoever is using it, can safely get on and off of the chairlift, making sure they can operate them safely. So as long as all of those boxes are checked, then I am definitely a fan of those.
The next question is from Lou. What about socks with treads on the bottom for hardwood floors?
Yes, they would pass my test. The only thing I would be making sure that you're looking at is if they are washed frequently. Sometimes over time they lose that tread. And you think of the hospital socks that everybody gets, the bright yellow socks with the traction on the bottom. So would just be mindful of, over time they may lose that traction or that tread. So maybe having to replace them.
Erin, can you remind us the name of that tape that you recommended for the shower floors?
Yes. So this particular brand is called Magic Tape. And like I said, I actually purchased this at Lowe's, but you can purchase a similar item on Amazon. If you just put tape for shower in your search box. I've actually purchased a couple different brands, and this is the one that I purchased here. And it normally, I would say about $10 is the price.
All right, we've got a few more questions. We had a question from Mr. Boozer. What are some good Christmas gift ideas to give a senior to help fall prevention?
That is a great question. So one of the things I would think about is, and not to promote Amazon, but just a smart device, making the home smarter and safer. So items like an Amazon Alexa, which normally retail for around $25, are a great device, like I said, for calling for help if someone does fall. So I didn't mention that because I am realistic that sometimes falls do happen, and we need to be able to come up with a plan. So if someone does fall, having their cell phone on them, calling for help using a device like a smart device like an Amazon Alexa is something else. Another great gift idea would be maybe like a Ring doorbell. Those are great safety devices for older adults that potentially live alone. And that way you can, if you're worried about your loved one, you can maybe check to see if they have left the home or if they've returned. So those are some of the things that I like to talk to the population that I'm working with here in the Midlands about. So those two things, any of the assistive devices that I talked about, the inexpensive things like the reacher, or maybe having a contractor come install a grab bar, which may not be an exciting gift, but something that they may like. I also like this device, which I didn't show. I purchased this at Lowe's also. This was $10, and it's a pop-up emergency light. So if the light does go out, we do have power outages sometimes here in Columbia. So having something like this by the bedside would be a great inexpensive gift.
Thank you, Erin. So we're running short on time just a little bit, but we do have one more question from the audience. Cindy asked if you have any basic exercises to help improve strength or balance, or any resources to share with our audience on where they can build those up.
So, the evidence is very supportive of home modifications to prevent falls, but then there's also a body of evidence that's so supportive of making sure that we're taking care of our health, and part of that is being active. There are evidence-based fall prevention programs here in Columbia. So actually the Lurie Center downtown, your local YMCA, some church affiliations, I would check there to see what type of exercise classes they have. The evidence is very supportive of balance exercises such as Tai Chi. That is probably the most supported dynamic standing exercise to promote balance. And so I would just try to consult with the organizations that you are near to see if they have the classes that could potentially kind of fit that need first.
All right, well, thank you, Erin. We just, we want to take this minute now just to thank you not only for this presentation, but just your continuous support of senior resources. So last year, we proudly awarded Ms. Jeffords our Billy Webster Award at our annual meeting. We just want to brag on you here for a minute, Erin. And this award is given to a person who exemplifies the spirit of giving. And Erin continues to do that, not just by presenting here today, but she is a regular volunteer with Meals on Wheels. And we've put together just a few slides that show her Lenoir-Rhyne graduate students working with our senior clients at our wellness centers. And her students come and provide therapeutic activities through crafts. And these activities help to stimulate our clients by using both their fine motor skills and their memory skills. They have fun activities that are timely with the seasons. So as you can see, they recently did a Halloween mask activity, and it's fun for both the seniors and the students who are doing the activity. So I just wanted to take a little minute and thank you, Erin, for your continuous support of Senior Resources, because I know that our clients love interacting and working with you at the wellness centers. And we love when you're able to come out and run routes for Meals on Wheels as well. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you. No, we enjoy it. And like I said, you in the beginning, when you were talking about all the things that Senior Resources does, I love being involved in, the Meals on Wheels and also the Wellness Center. So I thank you as well.
Well, thank you, Erin. And now we are going to turn to our community spotlight, which is today comes from HomeWorks of America. HomeWorks is a Christ-centered nonprofit organization located here in Columbia, and it provides home repair services to low-income homeowners while mentoring youth in the process. And we're excited to have HomeWorks share more about their mission through this short video.
A question we typically get here at HomeWorks is, who do you serve? Our typical homeowner is a 76-year-old lady living alone in a home usually built by her husband or another family member. She lives on very limited income, such as Social Security. When a home is approved for repairs by HomeWorks, our construction managers go out and preview the home and begin the process by visiting with the homeowner and building that relationship that usually lasts a lifetime. Since 1996, HomeWorks has provided free home repair for elderly, disabled, and veteran homeowners throughout South Carolina and the southeastern United States. Join us this year as we celebrate 25 years of HomeWorks.
All right, well, we are out of time with today's episode of the Senior Network, and we would like to thank you for joining us. We would like you to all save the date for our next month's edition, which will be on Thursday, December 2nd at 10:30 a.m. And we are going to have guest speaker Meredith Springs, and she's a physical therapist at Physical Therapy and Balance Center, and she's going to present more tips on fall prevention and how it relates to your physical health. You can register for that webinar on our website at seniorresourcesinc.org, and it will also be available on our events tab on our Facebook page. Thank you again for joining us, and we hope that you enjoyed the information that we shared here today. This webinar will be available to play back and share with friends later. If you'll check back to our website, once again, it's seniorresourcesinc.org, and we hope you'll join us next month. Thanks.
Bye.